Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the horror Mizamani G. Time to review the latest entry into the Insidious franchise. Yes, it is Insidious, the Red Door. Yes, ha 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 ha.
Don't fuck with them hoes.
Now, Insidious, the Red Door is a 2023 American supernatural horror film. Was directed by Patrick Wilson in his directorial debut. Yes, his first time behind the camera. It was written by Scott Teems, based on the characters created by Lee Whannell. Now, the film stars Patrick Wilson, Rose Byrne, Ty Simpkins, Danielle Sinclair Danielle, and Andrew Astor. Yes, the Lamberts are back, and they must go deeper into the further than ever before to put their demons to rest once and for all. Ooh, yeah. Now, I'm pretty sure horror fans, 13 years ago when film director James Wan and Australian screenwriter and actor Lee Whannell didn't know the success they would have when they created and released Insidious back in 2010. Yes, it's been 13 years since Insidious graced us with their excellent horror. Now, success of that film, along with Saw, would allow both men to become icons in the horror genre. Everyone loves Lee Whannell. Everyone loves James Wan. They've done a fantastic job in the horror community since the birth of those two films, Insidious and Saw. Now, while the latest entry for the Saw franchise is released later this year around Halloween, you know the old saying, if it's Halloween, then it must be Saw. Insidious has its own success as well. Now, as of me recording this video, the five films in the franchise have grossed over 550 million worldwide at the box office on a budget of only 42.5 million. So the film has become a very successful franchise. I'm pretty sure that's going to increase based on when the box office receipts come in. We'll probably know at least by I'll say late Sunday afternoon or Monday morning. We'll learn what the box office is for this film. Known for their effective jump scares and interesting premise, horror fans have come to enjoy this franchise. I do it. I actually love all four films. Some more than others, but I think very successfully all the films in this franchise have been pretty good. Now, after not appearing in the last two films, those two films recorded like prequels. The Lamberts are back, with Patrick Wilson making his directorial debut in the latest entry and direct sequel from Insidious Chapter 2. It's Insidious, the Red Door. Now, taking place 9 years after the events of Chapter 2, we see that the Lamberts, they're not in great shape. You see, Josh and Renee, they're now divorced. Josh's mother, Lorraine, she's passed away, and he has a strained relationship with Dalton. Yeah, a lot of things are not going too good with the Lamberts. After driving Dalton away for college, he's on his way to college to take up an art course. He's a very good artist, by the way. Some of those drawings are very good, although they're also very dark, too, but he's very good. Both he and Dalton start to have supernatural events, mainly when they're asleep. Wait a minute, I thought their memories were suppressed. Ooh, we knew this was going to happen. Now, obviously, they both freak out because due to their memories of astral projection, especially to their further, were suppressed at the end of chapter 2. So they have no clue what's happening. So eventually, they both start their investigation of what's going on and hopefully find a solution before the spirit starts haunting for them, trap them forever in the further. We certainly don't want that to happen. Now, I'm sure most horror fans like myself are wondering if Patrick Wilson can make a decent horror film, especially as good as this series has been, because when it was announced that he was going to go behind the film, a lot of people were kind of nervous. Well, he actually does a fine job, and he continues what made this franchise one of the better franchises in modern horror. One thing that Patrick does, he makes sure that the films has the right amount of tension and suspense as we see both Dalton and Josh struggle with the events, what's happening to them. We see what's happening with Josh. He has no clue what's going on. We also see what's happening with Dalton as he goes to art class, and he has no clue what's going on. Now, for me, it's interesting to see them as while the audience knows what's happening, neither Josh nor Dalton has a clue. So their reactions are expected for anyone who sees what's happening to see what they're seeing. I mean, if you all of a sudden see this weird shit happening to you, especially there's one point when when he and Chris go to a frat party, you freak out too because it's like, what the world's going on here? Now, Patrick also does a great job of giving the film the right type of atmosphere, as the film is dark and dreary, which we expect for Insidious franchise to be. Now, you also have to give credit to cinematographer, as Autumn Eakin does a great job in doing neon lights when we go into the further. As a matter of fact, there's one particular great scene that I like right towards the middle of the end of the third act, beginning of the, I would say, the end of the second to the third act. Uh, we are in this familiar place that we've seen before, but I thought there was a great scene right there. I think Patrick does a great job of how it looks, how it films, and Cinema does a great job of how they use the colors in that particular scene. And as he does in this film series and he does in The Conjuring, Patrick Wilson is great as Josh. He plays a man who is sad, who he believes he's lost his family, and he feels he's making the same mistake as his father did with him and Lorraine. No, I love the chemistry he and Ty Simpkins has, as both men believe that they're missing something out of their lives, so they're just taking out of each other. That's probably the reason why they have a strained relationship, because both of them feel as though they're missing something out of their life. They don't know what it is. Unfortunately, it's also causing them to lash out at each other. That's why their relationship is strained. And I think both he and Ty Simpkins have great chemistry together. Now, Ty and Sinclair Danielle, who plays Dalton's college roommate Chris, also have good chemistry together. And Sinclair does her best to bring Dalton out of his funk. I think she is a nice, playful opposite to Dalton's, demeanor. He's dreary, he's dark, he doesn't know what's going on, and I like their chemistry together, especially when the crazy event starts to happen and it starts to affect her. At first, she's scared, but because of how she starts caring for Dalton, she's going to try her best to protect him. Now, without not spoiling anything, no one should be surprised in the number of jump scares this film has, because that's what this franchise is known for. Known for. So there should be no surprise that we got a lot of jump scares in this film. Now, unlike other horror movies that use fake jump scares, in this movie and in this whole franchise, they're used effectively here, and sometimes when you least expect them. Even when you know there's a jump scare coming, but you don't know when it's going to happen, how it's going to affect, it's very effective because it actually helps the narrative of the film. Also, no one should be surprised at some of the cameos in this film, as we see events that took place in the previous film, as they're also part of the film's narrative. As I stated before, there is a scene in I would say the end of the second act to the third act that actually has events that took place in the first part of the film, and another part of the film where we see events that took place in the second film. So yeah, a lot of people might not like it, but to me, it's part of the film's narrative, so I don't mind it being in there. Well, there are not a lot of practical effects in this film. I do like the practical effects that they do use. There might have been a little CGI in there, but I thought all the practical effects were good. Obviously the spirits that come in this particular film, once again, they're creepy looking. They look crazy and ugly, and one of them is very disgusting. And if you've seen the film, you probably know what I'm talking about. And everyone in the audience said the same thing. I say, that's disgusting. And everyone say, no, you're right. That is disgusting. If there's one thing I can complain about this film, it is rather predictable, especially when it comes to the third act. But it really didn't take away my enjoyment of the film. I really did love this film a lot. And like I said before, it is a bit predictable, but hey, look, I still enjoyed it. So despite the predictability, this is a pretty good and maybe fitting into this particular part of the story regarding the Lamberts, and a nice way to start Patrick Wilson's career behind the camera. So I'm going to give Insidious the Red Door 3 out of my 5 lucky gold coins. Almost gave it a 4, but because of the predictability, I decided to go on ahead and just give it a 3. But despite the predictability, I thought this was a very effective film. Nice entry into the franchise. I think now we've seen the end of the Lambert story. I believe, if I read correctly, there is going to be a 6th film in the Insidious franchise, but I don't believe it's not going to involve the Lamberts, because I think we've done enough with this family already. It's time to try to do something a little bit more interesting and new. So there you have it, horror fans. That is my video and review for Insidious: The Red Door. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, like, and share. That helps out with that YouTube algorithm. Also, have you seen Insidious: The Red Door? What do you thought about it? Did you like Patrick Wilson's first time behind the camera? Leave your comments in the comment section below and tell you what you thought about the film. Also, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime when I put a new video such as this one. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G, and always remember that horror rules. And I see you in my next video. Y'all guys stay safe out there.